Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial on Inkscape. In this lesson, I'll be showing you guys how to create a vector illustration of this Peugeot 504 from the image. And if you apply all the processes and steps I will be sharing with you today, you will be able to create a vector illustration of literally any object from an image or even a sketch. So let's get started. I'll be doing this in three processes. I'll first of all make the sketch, then I'll give the sketch a fill color, then I add the shadows and highlight and some other effect that I would love to add. So to do the sketch, I will use my Bezier tool to make the sketch of the entire car. So if you haven't seen the video where I explain how to use the Bezier tool, I will advise you to check out that video before coming here. But before just jumping into the Bezier tool and making out the sketch, what I like doing is that I will scan through the images and see if there are some shapes that I can represent with a basic shape rather than just drawing the whole thing. And so from what I can see now, all these tires, I can easily represent them using circles. So I will do that first before making the sketch with the Bezier tool. So I will click on my circle tool, or I'll click on E on my keyboard. That's a shortcut to select the ellipse or circle tool. Then I'll kind of zoom into the tire and draw. So I'll draw my circle tool. So if you have used Inkscape before and you create a new document, it kind of copy the properties of the previous setting. So for instance, if this is let's say a yellow outline and I want to draw another thing, it will still be a yellow outline. So if yours is looking like that, just change the outline to black. So we are using a black outline for the sketch. So I'll change it to black and I'll adjust my ellipse to match the rim of the tire. So this one here is for the inner rim, which is white. So I'll just kind of adjust it till I am okay. Then I will do another one for this outer rim. So I'll click on my circle tool again and draw. So once I've drawn that, I will adjust it to fit the outer part. So this space here is kind of dark and I'm finding it hard to look at what I'm doing. So I can just for now I can change the outline to yellow so I can really see where I am placing the outline of the ellipse tool. So I can drag this to fit here. Then I'll increase the length just a little bit. So you can see I've done this for the tire. So let me increase the width a little bit. Yeah, I think this is okay. So I think I'm done for this part of the tire, and I'll do that for the rest of the tire. So let's do that for this one as well. So I can change the outline to black now. So I'll adjust it to fit the rim. So I duplicated the circle to use for the outer rim, so I'll kind of adjust the width to fit it in place. So let me do that now. I'm going to reduce this. Don't worry if it seems to be out of place, we'll correct that when we are done with the whole sketch. So I think I've represented everything that can be represented with a shape. So let me change this outline back to black. Yeah, so I think those are the shapes that I can easily represent using a basic shape, which I've just done. So the next thing now is to use the Bezier tool and to draw around it. So I have selected the Bezier tool, and this is how I use the Bezier tool to draw. So I kind of zoom in on some certain shapes so that I will really see where I am to make the outline from. So I'll just click and draw around the Bezier tool. I've explained how to use the Bezier tool on my previous video under this playlist. So if you haven't seen that video, I will advise you to check out that video. So I'll just run this through a time lapse to show you guys how to like make the outline. So let me just do this one first. So I'm kind of like drawing around the shape for the headlight. So you click, and I'm also making the curves as I am drawing around it. So I've done for the headlamp. Don't worry about some certain curves which are not right. After the whole outline, we'll make adjustment together, but I'll run the time lapse of how I'll do the outline of the rest of the shape of the vehicle. So alright guys, so while I was doing the sketch with my Peugeot tool, I noticed some things that, for instance, the logo is not that clear for me to draw it out, and also the side view mirror is not that clear for me to draw it out. This is basically because the image is not a high quality image. So I would recommend, if you are using any image to do a vector illustration, make sure you get the highest possible quality or highest resolution possible, so that you can see the details in depth and draw out the details for the outline very well. So since I cannot draw the sketch very well, what I've done is that I've downloaded a more detailed image of the logo and the side view mirror to draw them out. So I'll just import the image on my document now. Okay, so I think this one is more clear for me to draw the side view mirror, and this also is more clearer for me to draw out the logo. So I'll start with the side view mirror. Again, I'll go to my Peugeot tool and I'll click on it, then I'll kind of sketch out the side view mirror. So again, I'll just speed up this process. So I'm done sketching now to the side view mirror. All I'll just do is I'll just drag and place it on this one here that is not very clear, so let me resize it. I think that's okay now, so I'll do the same thing for the logo here. So I can equally trace the logo out just like I did the side view mirror, or just to make the process much faster, I can just trace out the bitmap since it's a vector logo. So I think I mentioned trace bitmap when we were talking about pathfinders, so you can see the pathfinder video. I mentioned bitmap. So this is the logo now. So what I need to do is just to give it the outline and remove the fill. So I don't need the name here, so I will just use my eraser tool. So I can just click on Shift E on my keyboard. That is shortcut for the eraser tool. So once I click on Shift E, I can just wipe out the name. I can head over to the top bar here to increase the size. Then I can wipe out just the name and leave the logo. So once that is done, I can adjust the width of the logo. I think that is okay. So I'll just resize it and place it where we are supposed to place it. Okay, yeah, I think we are basically done with the outline of the car. So let me delete this. So to kind of view our outline, I'll just like reduce the perspective of our image. Sorry, I will reduce the opacity so we'll see our outline. I will reduce it down to 0 so that I can still select the image, but I will reduce it significantly just to see only our outline. So you can see this is the outline of our car. So I will just need to like do some few adjustments and settings using my notes tool before we can go over to the fill color. So for instance, I think the width of this line here and the logo is too small, so I think we need to increase that. That's too much. Let me increase it a bit. I think this is okay. So I'll do the same thing for the stripes. I think that's okay as well. So you can see that we need some adjustments for this back tire here, so I will need to adjust that. But before that, let me increase the width of this line here. It looks a little light. Yeah, I think that's okay. So I'll need to adjust the outline. So if you remember from the start of the video, this is actually a circle that we inserted, so it's an object, not a part. So if you watch my parts videos where I talked about parts and part effects, so you know that you can convert the object to parts before you begin manipulation. So this is not just an object alone, but this is just the outline of an object, which is circle. So I'll convert the outline or the stroke, that is stroke, to parts, or you use the shortcut there which says Ctrl-Alt-C. So once you do that, you select your notes tool, and when you select your notes tool, you have access to every of this note. So from our image, you can see that the tire doesn't cut across here, so we need to break it from here. Object to parts. Okay, I think we can now break it now. So once you have break it, you click on the point which you want to separate it for. You go to break parts, so you can see the part is now separated. So I can delete this part now. Yeah, so and I need to adjust this other point here. So let me increase the opacity of the image so I will get the adjustment where. So I'll click on the image and click on fill, then I increase the opacity. So you can see this is where the actual tire stopped and ours kind of go a little bit over. So I'll click on my notes tool again to adjust it. Okay, so yeah, so that's good. Now we can see it ended here. I can create another node and delete this one so that it will be smooth. Sorry. Yeah, so this is cool. Now let me just drag it in a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. So you can see we are meant to add an additional line here, and I think this needs to go up a little bit. So I'll take my Bezier tool and I'll add a line now. Okay, so which other thing we need to do? So let me just adjust this headlights over here using my nodes tool as well. So I'll take it to the top and I give a little gap, yeah, between the headlight and the grill. So do the same thing here, just a little bit above. Now connect this properly. Same thing for the other side, just a little bit above. Now bring this up. Okay, this one come down a bit. We are meant to add a line here because there's actually two colors here. So yeah, do the same thing for this other side. Using my Bezier tool, of course, then I think there should be another line here. I think we are pretty much done with our outline. So okay, we are meant to add a line here. Just quickly do that. Okay, with that I think we are done with our outline. Let's view that again while we reduce the opacity of the image. Remember, not down to 0, so you can still select the image. Yeah, so we just made our outline for the vehicle. Exactly. So alright guys, so the next thing to do is to add our field color, and we'll be doing that using the bucket field tool or the field bounded area tool. So I made a video explaining all you need to know about this tool, so if you don't know how to use it, please do well to check out that video before coming here. So before we start making our field color, so we have to go to our outline again to see if there's any openings around our shape before we start filling. And also remember that we still have our original image here. So what we are going to do is I'm going to duplicate this first. Let me increase the opacity so you see. So I will duplicate this, that's Ctrl D on my keyboard, and then I will drag this to the side, and then I will increase this opacity back to 100. That's the one I duplicated so that I can see. So this now will be a guide to me using to fill this my outline. So I can reduce this opacity back down, but remember not to a 0 so that we can see select the image just like this whenever we need to. Okay guys, so that's it. So I'll begin using my field bounded area to make the field color now using this time lapse. So let me get on to it. guys, I'm done with the field of our vector illustration card. I can see that it's actually looking nice, so we just need to do some final touches, that is adding of the shadows. So I will need to add shadows on some of the body of the vehicle, on the headlight and on the tires, to give it more detail. And to do that, what I'll be doing is I'll be overlaying our image back on the car so as to draw out the shadows. But before that, I would like to group what I have already done to avoid it being scattered. So I will highlight everything and I click on Ctrl G on my keyboard to group them so that they are one. So I'll place it at the middle of the page, that is Ctrl Z for it to be at the middle. Sorry, I went back, let me group it again. So it's at the middle of the page. All I need to do is to align this image which we brought out the other time back to the middle of the page. The image is at the middle of the page now, but you can see that it's kind of behind our vector illustration. I want it to be at the front so that we can see the highlights and the shadows we want to sketch out. So I'll just bring the image back to the front now. So our vector illustration is behind. So what I will try to do now, using my Bezier tool again, I will sketch out some of the shadows and highlights. For instance, there is a kind of shadow on this burner here, and I also sketch out some of the patterns on the tire and some other details or highlights that I can find around the vehicle. So I will do that now in this time lapse. Guys, so I'm done adding the highlights and the shadows I can find from the image. So if I zoom in now, you see that I highlighted a shadow on the top of the bonnet by just making the color dark of the shape I do. I also did the same thing for the side, and I kind of insert a line to make like a kind of a stripe for the tire. So that's it about our vector illustration car, and you can see that I also added my text on the plate number. So thank you for watching this video. I feel like this video is kind of too fast, so if you want me to do a much more detailed version of how you can do a vector illustration of an object or a car just like this, please leave that in the comment section below. And if this video was helpful and you learned one or two from it, also please notify in the comment section below. And as well, like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out. you.